You've all definitely seen in movies and in TV shows where somebody gets charged with something that sounds like an accessory after the fact or accessory to murder. They get charged as an accomplice to somebody committing a felony or another crime. Well, that doesn't happen here in Texas. Instead, you get charged with the actual crime itself. So, why is that? Today, we're talking about the Texas law of parties. So, stick around and we'll discuss. Happy Friday, everybody. Hope you're having a great week. And like I said in the intro, in this week's video, we're talking about something in Texas called the law of parties. And what the law of parties is, it comes from the Penal Code Chapter 7. And what it says is that here in Texas, you can get charged with a criminal offense based upon the actions of another person. And there are some caveats there. Obviously, you need to be assisting them in that criminal enterprise. You need to take at least one step in order to further that criminal enterprise. But if you do, where in some states you might be charged as an accomplice or as a party to the offense, here in Texas, you're charged with the actual offense itself. And so the full range of punishment that would exist for defendant number one also exists for you as defendant number two in that same criminal action. And so anytime you're talking about being charged with the criminal conduct of another person, it's this tricky, slippery slope of how do you determine if somebody should be held criminally responsible for the action of another. And so that's, for defense lawyers, a lot of times what we're arguing is you have to argue that you as the defendant weren't aware or weren't fully informed about what the criminal activity was going to be, because there's a foreseeability element, a predictability element, that you knew what they were doing was either illegal or they were about to do something illegal. And instead of stopping them from doing that, you instead assisted them in doing that, or you encouraged them to do that. And so those, a lot of the times, are where the argument comes into play. And it even goes a step further, and this is where things can get really scary. Let's say you and another person decide we're going to rob a store, a convenience store, and there's no discussion whatsoever about what's going to happen to those employees in that store. You not only can get charged for the actual robbery because you encouraged it, you assisted in it, you helped plan it, whatever the case may be, but if another felony comes from that robbery, let's say an evading, you lead the police on a high-speed chase, or let's say one of the employees gets killed, so now there's a murder wrapped up. You, as the criminal defendant, may have had no idea that was going to happen, and you may not even know that it did in fact happen. Yet, you can still get charged for that murder because you at least assisted in a portion of what set off this criminal conduct. So keep that in mind as you're talking to other people, or you see in movies, or you see in TV shows where they talk about an accomplice to or an accessory to a murder. That's not something that really exists here in Texas. You get charged with the crime. And I use murder because it's just the easiest for everybody to kind of visualize and picture. But that holds true for really any felony in the state of Texas. The Penal Code specifically says that if you assist another in engaging in that behavior, or you encourage them to engage in that behavior, that you can be charged as well. As always, if you have any questions about this or any of my other videos, please feel free to reach out via email or phone. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. Hope you're having a great week. Hope you have a great weekend, and I look forward to seeing you next time.